That was weird. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 85 of my mostly weekly GEMP game review series. I am your host, Chris Gogolin. I knew I should have turned YouTube off first before it just rolled right into the next video there. Oops. Happy Monday. Happy June, everybody. It's finally June. May is finally over. I know May felt like a lifetime to me. I'm sure to many of you, May have seemed to drag on quite a bit. But we're going to talk about the May OCS, see what the current standings look like for that, and we'll check in what's going on already for June. We do have a game link that was submitted. It's part of the new Jawa series that's been going on for a little while. We'll check out the standings on that as well. I haven't been keeping up to date with that one too much, and then we'll pop over to something else as well. Take a quick peek at some other stuff that's going on in the Star Wars universe. Nope, that's the wrong one. There we go. I feel like my head was too big. My head's big enough as it is. I don't need it to get any bigger. All right. So, without any further ado, the OCS June qualifier has already begun. It's June 1st. We've already had a handful of games played. Kyle, off to the races, has already played 4 games in 24 hours. Looks like he's gone 2-2. A couple of guys here, they're 1-1. Some 1-0s, 0-2, 0-1s. It's just a handful of games played so far, but off to a good start for day one. But May is in the books. All Star was already qualified. Shaw 11-1 qualifies. Congrats to Greg Shaw. And also 11-1 Zlorfik. Bastion finally qualifies as well. I know he's one of the people most people would have assumed has already qualified by now, but he has not. So he now joins the club and wins his last game on the last day of the month with just a few hours left to spare, picking up a win over Al in a game that, well, we'll say Al conceded a little earlier than he possibly needed to. He obviously didn't feel like things were going his way after a particular battle. Didn't go the way he wanted it to. He basically dropped a bunch of characters and had like Leia's gun and Ray with lightsaber and was going to beat the crap out of like Watto and like one other guy. And then Bastion played Ceasefire when the battle started, so nobody was getting hit by weapons and nobody was going away. Um, yeah. So that was unfortunate for Al, but yeah, he kind of threw all his eggs in one basket on a Hail Mary on turn 3, and or turn 4, whatever it was, and did not did not go very far. So it seemed a little anticlimactic, but Bastion does finally qualify, so congrats to him for that. We all knew it was sort of an inevitability, right? The guy did win it last year, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. These things are so hard to keep track of. He wins so many things. But somebody will correct me in the chat if I'm completely mistaken there. Strong Month by Echo Base Trooper comes up just a little bit short here in 4th place, but Adam did move up the leaderboard standings for the possible at-large bids to keep himself in the mix there. Another strong month from Jared and Brian, who are already qualified. Paul has yet to qualify. Another solid 10-2 month out of him. Silver Glenn with a 9-3 strong month. Chris Kelly the same. Neither of them have qualified yet. They were both in the top 16 OCS playoffs last year. I think Silver Glenn was in the final 4, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe he was in the finals. Maybe it was him and Bastion in the finals. That sounds like it could be right. So that's May. May's done. We will take a look at the current standings, thanks to Joe Olson for keeping this up to date. As you can see, Paul sitting at top of the leaderboard overall, 40-8, best record overall of anyone participating in the entire field, and has not qualified yet. So he's got a pretty sizable lead. It's like a 6-game lead right now over second place, which is Silver Glen, who many people would also expect to be qualifying soon. And then Adam, like we mentioned, did move up the standings quite a bit, put himself in right there at the bubble. Then you got some other guys, Gavin, Coffee Pass, myself, Stubley, Chris Kelly, all still in contention, but obviously gonna need to pick up the pace a little bit. Can't just be going 7-5, 8-4. Gonna need some 9-3s in there to really move up a couple spots and keep this competitive. Also, there's a reasonable chance that one or two guys at this point in the list may qualify, like Silver Glen may qualify, Echo Base Trooper with another solid month may qualify. Paul may finally put it together and just squeak by for that 1 month. That's been holding him up. 32, 34 points doesn't qualify. 32 points doesn't qualify. 32 points doesn't qualify. The month that 32 points would have qualified him is the only month that he put up 30. This is the month Brian Fred qualified here with this 32 with the 55 percentage. He may have still come up a little short on the strength of schedule that month, but he would have been at least in contention. So, not too late, of course, to get in. You can still sign up for the OCS. Still get June, July, August, 3 months left. Only $10 a month, and we do have foil prizes given out. Just play 8 games, get 1 copy of a foil, which sadly I don't have the foils yet. They're still in Europe with Mr. Kevin. Hopefully we'll be receiving them sometime soon so I can start mailing them out to people. So that way when you're stuck at home, you have something shiny to look at to torment you and say, when am I going to be able to go out to a live event again in person and use this shiny thing that I have in my hand? Oh, he changed the widget. Look at that. Thank you, Shaw, for renewing your subscription for month number 9. Looks like Jerry changed the widget for that. I like that picture of Hayes better. That's better than the I think the Java we had before that I had just sort of thrown together 2 years, a year ago. I don't know. It's been a while. A year and a half ago. So, thanks to Joe again for keeping updates on the standings and for getting this updated so quickly. And actually, I can look at the other brackets and stuff right here. Yes, Bastion did win last year over Silver Glen. So Bastion's back in the qualifiers. Shaw, who made the Final Four last year, has qualified. Joe has qualified. And I think that's it of the people who were in it last year. Did Eric qualify? I don't think Eric has qualified yet. I could just go look at these other list over here. I think it's in the event details. Yes, Eric did qualify in March. Okay. So Eric's back in the playoffs as well. Yeah, so still 3 months left. We'll still get 6 more people to join them, plus the 2 at-large bids. And we'll see how that plays out. As far as other news, we don't have any live events scheduled anytime soon. The MPC Consolation Bracket just finished up as well. Congrats to Pat Johnson beating Dan Tartaglione in the finals. Congrats to Dan on making the finals. Certainly carrying the Wednesday night Hollow Theater show with his playing ability. I think, what did Queso play any games in May? Did he get 1 game in, 2 games? Queso Sauce, 0-2. At least he played 2 games. That's a step in the right direction. We'll hopefully get Jerry to play some more games sometime soon. But despite the fact that there's, people are still kind of quarantined a little bit or businesses are still kind of shut down, Jerry always finds ways to go outside and do stuff. So must be that Colorado rebel spirit. The Boonta Eve Brawl. This is the other thing we're talking about here. So this was the league here. 12 games. Jared went 12-0. All right. That's pretty impressive, 12-0 in this format. What were the constructed Jawa restricted cards? No Throne Room, no Agents of the Black Sun, no Court, no Idea, no Legend, no EBO, no Hunt Down, no ISB, no Imperial Entanglements, no Hitco. Hitco, Throne Room, Legend. Those are like the 3 most popular light side decks in last month's OCS as well. So, certainly can see an interesting format with them being banned from it. No idea. I think it was number 4. So those still are the top decks. Um, and then Black Sun ISB were the most popular, or ISB Black Sun rather, in that order. I think were the most popular, and Huntdown was third, and then probably Court for fourth. So even with these being banned for the Jawa Cup for everybody to play in that event that was taking place during May, the top deck still stayed at the top in the May OCS standings that Echo Base Trooper put together and submitted and posted for everybody to take a look at as well. Oh, okay. So we don't have anything else going on in the PC forums right now. These events still tentatively on schedule. We're hoping everything is going to get cleared up and we can still host these live events in a couple of months. Certainly going to have to play it by ear until we get closer to the actual deadline of the events. Um, you'll probably see something late July, early August, letting us know, just confirming what we're still doing here. And, fingers crossed, we'll all be getting together in person. Maybe we'll only be playing one game at a table or something. I don't know. We'll all sit there playing in Stormtrooper helmets. There you go. Everybody bring your Stormtrooper helmet, your Darth Vader helmet, your Kylo Ren mask, and we'll have a fun, thematic, social distancing live tournament. But before we get into our game of the week, the other thing I, of course, wanted to mention, what I've been spending my last 3 weekends working on, the Players Committee store. Don't forget, we do have a store, store.starwarsccg.org. You'll find lots of cool products back in stock. Just added a few complete sets. Anything that says add to cart is in stock. Anything that says read more, well, you can just read more. Got an Endor foil set now, Coruscant complete set without the AIs. There's a Death Star 2 set. Endor set, no foils, but the foil set is right here to be purchased separately if you so choose. Don't have any Japanese stuff. I'll probably be getting to some of this stuff. Got some Reflections foil sets, some premium cards, and then, of course, thousands of individual cards broken down by set up for grabs to be purchased to add it to your home collection for whenever you get to go out into the world again. So that's where you can find out about that. Of course, we want to make sure everybody knows about the store, but you guys all do because that's how you signed up for the OCS and stuff and sign up for our live tournaments. But we get into our game of the week. See if there's anything going on in the old GEMP lobby first. Okay, so we got a Jawa Series 1 sealed deck. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on the lobby, see if anything else pops up. Maybe we'll get back into later. But our game this week comes to us submitted by Brother Juss. I don't think I've reviewed any of his game links. This is a Jawa format game. It's map against Watch Your Step, 2 decks that I would both expect. He's going to go with Chewie as his agent. Okay. 2 decks that I would expect to be popular in this format. They both have sort of crept down the power curve a little bit over the last couple of virtual sets. Other things have surpassed them, plus a couple little minor tweaks and changes have dragged them down. Ryder was 8-0 coming into this game. Boon to Eve Brawl. Ryder, okay, so he's sitting right now at 9-1. Still could pick up 2 more wins here and tie Jared for second place. I don't know what the standings or whatever are, if there's any type of playoff breakdown or whatnot. Okay, so this was a game that he was 8-0 at the start of. The question is this one of his losses, or is this one of the game that he won to go to 9-0 and then lost his next game? Inquiring minds will find out. No spoilers. All right, so we got Chewie chosen as the agent. Brother Just playing Watch Your Step. He starts the Farm Puller. He opted to start Menace Fades as his third effect, and with Wackling. Can't argue with Menace Fades here. There are a couple of 4-strain bonuses in map between Kylo's lightsaber, the Finalizer has a 4 strain bonus at episode 7 systems. Couldn't think of the term. And then the interior Starkiller base site also has a 4 strain bonus. So there's 3+1s that'll be out there that slowing them down with Menace Fades, which watch your step should have a decent shot at holding, especially if they're bouncing away. And then Rider started Alert as his second effect, so he can pull Hux and somehow get him into hand, whether it's commands or whatever, and then or reveal and take the finalizer into hand, and then go get Hux or PV, probably PV to make the finalizer immune to at least less than 8, if not less than 10. But Hux would also come down cheaper, get you a used pile pulled, and maybe you'll find PV. You can pair that all up together. All right, let's see what happens. All right. There's the Imp command. Okay. And he's going to grab Thrawn. That's the other person you can usually match for in these decks. Usually it's Thrawn Chimera. Grievous turn 1 to the Cantina. That is an incredibly aggressive play. And then he draws all of his cards. If you're watching at home, I don't know what Ryder's deck build is. If it's a traditional deck build, I mean, he drew up. He's got 12 cards. He's activating 8 force. Map can't quite lay down the beatdown squad it used to because the first order troopers aren't free anymore. I mean, you look at him and he's saying, oh, he's not playing Saitor or anything like that, so I don't have to worry about Luke plus a lightsaber. But you do still have to worry about used pile pulls, and he already revealed Chewie Bowcaster as his rep. So, he's got at least that guy floating around in there with a weapon. Luke with a lightsaber could seriously do some damage to Grievous here. 8 force, probably not getting out 2 smugglers. You also have to run the risk of he's just going to pull battle plan, and then you're going to activate 8. You're going to spend 3 to drain, leaving you with only 5 force available. That could certainly be a problem. Then if you're going to try and deploy anybody to back Grievous up, meanwhile your opponent's going to get a location or 2 out, possibly get some more activation of their own, possibly save some force. So it's an aggressive play. Aggressive plays sometimes do work out. You put your opponent on their heels, so let's not discount that. But sometimes they can also get you into a bit of trouble way earlier than you need to be. So he gets the farm out, so he gave his opponent 1 extra force. He pulls battle plan as expected, and he's just going to draw a couple cards. Ooh, he picks up Jedi Mind Trick. That's an interesting one. If opponent just initiated a battle or force drain, they must use 2 force or it's canceled. So you make him pay 3 with battle plan to drain, and then you make him pay 2 more. So now his drain of 2 in the Cantina could cost him up to 5, possibly, if he opts to drain there. If he doesn't opt to drain there, and he just deploys some stuff and backs him up, well, then it was a very aggressive play. So yes, so he is going to Jedi Mind Trick it, which is going to try to sense. Now he'll just control the sense. He's going to sense it while he can, because once Watcher Step is flipped, you can't play sense or alter. So that's interesting. Senses and going for it with Grievous. Grievous only ability 4, but there's a lot of interrupts and stuff that are 4 or higher. But at the same time, it seems reasonable to take the chance. There's no shields out stopping it. Like, again, once he's flipped, you can't sense anything anyway, because the flip side of Watch Your Step says sense, alter, and keep your eyes open may not be played. So you might as well go for it. You got nothing to lose. But it does get control tunnel vision, which he's then going to spend a force to grab. So now he just spent 4. Does he have a second sense? Nope, no grabber. So now he's going to choose to pay the 2. So his drain of 2 just cost him 6. He loses the Jedi Mind Trick and a Lando with Blaster. There's Mataka. He's going to get the Jakku system. I guess he was drawn for his Starkiller base sights turn 1 because he didn't pull any turn 1. So they must have both been in his force pile, and he recognized that when he used the imp command or whatever. Alright, so now we're going to get some smugglers. I would expect to see Brother Just flip here. So Leslomi is a good one because once per game you can download a card with Elor's in title here, so you can go get the other smuggler, so to give you an extra guy. Then you just drop like Melas at the docking bay. Now you're flipped, so you get the benefit of drawing 2 Battle Destiny. You put the 3rd smuggler there, so you've got somebody to forfeit. Battle into Grievous, draw 2 Destiny, clear him, and then just consolidate guys. Yeah. Personally, I probably would have used Theron Net over Mirax because Mirax you can usually match for a ship at least, but he's not playing the Squadron Assignments version, so not matching ships necessarily in this particular build. He is going to Mirax to draw a card. He picks up another copy of Lando with Blasters, so he's got 2 Lando with Blasters here. Interesting. That's going to get him a use pile pull as well. See if we can time it right. Okay. So he is playing a EPP version. As you can see, EPP Han has a gun, makes people forfeit 0, adds a Battle Destiny with Luke or Chewie. We know he's got the EPP Chewie, and then he's using EPP Luke as well. So lots of built-in weapons here, making this actually very fortunate because EPP Luke could have just dropped down, swung, hit Grievous, cleared him, possibly do some overflow very early turn 1. But if you're looking at what card to take into hand here, you've got a number of options, and it really depends which direction you want to go in. Getting Booster and Pulsar Skate to help set, or Wild Card to help set up, get your celebration going. Taking Luke or Han, probably pretty beneficial. I don't see any of the interrupts necessarily being helpful. You don't really need Owen and Baru right now. Could grab the Control Tunnel Vision just so you could then Tunnel Vision next turn if you're looking for something better, like one of the other ships, like the Outrider or something like that, to match up. But you only have 3 force, so you're not squeezing anybody else out onto the board this turn, unless you took Owen and Baru. But you don't want to do that. Your opponent's getting 13 force and has 1 saved. You don't really want to stick them out there by themselves. So Antilles Maneuver might not be a bad call either if you were playing against the Blaster version. That starts You'll Be Dead. But in the standard version, the Space Alert My Star Destroyer versions, we don't see as many weapons anymore. So you don't necessarily need something like Antilles Maneuver. So you're probably looking at Han or Luke here. He takes the wild card. He wants to set up space to get his celebration going. Or something, or get around battle plan. Okay. Lando is going to take a shot here. See what he's working for. He's going to play Sorry About the Mess to add 3, because it's a blaster. So now he's basically shooting at +4. Just don't draw a Kessel. And it was overkill. He didn't need it. But better safe than sorry. So Grievous is hit and forfeit 0. And now Lightside's going to draw 2 Battle Destiny here. And he does have a Jedi Lev, so he'll take the Obi into hand. This is an interesting Watcher Step build. Very aggressive, very ground heavy. Maybe that's what Watcher Step needs to be right now. Okay. And we'll find out what Brother Just has up his sleeve. He draws a 5 and a 4. That's going to put him to 18. 18 to 6. Grievous has no forfeit. He's going to need a Gick, or he's going to be peeling a bunch of cards. And he draws a Mara for Destiny. That'll get rid of... I want to say Leslomi being the easiest one to get rid of there. But then you start to worry about, like, well, she didn't download the guy yet. She could get the other guy the next turn and give you more help. But Mirax is better. Alright, so he does have the Gick, so this game will actually continue a bit longer. Yeah, then you just move Malos over anyway. Consolidate the Cantina. He flip back for a turn, but that's okay. He'll set space up next turn and flip back. And there's Lobot. What is Lobot doing in a Watch Your Step deck, you might ask? Would I grab Gick here? Probably not, because map usually isn't known for playing more than one. I mean, if you are playing sort of a beat-down, heavy ground version, feel like grabbing Gick might be a good card to do that with. Especially, I mean, there's the possibility, of course, that he could flip and then stack it and do that whole mechanic. But you do have 2 copies of Chewy, who is your rep, floating around in there. And it's curious that he chose Chewy and not Luke, because Luke has no... Just let it default to Luke, because Luke has no immunity anyway, and he's probably got several EPP Lukes. So it's not like he's really giving up anything, so that could be an interesting choice as well. But Lobot, for say, deploys free to a Cloud City or a site with the Scomp link. I'm going to have to check those because there's very few Scomp links on Tatooine. If a battle was just initiated at same site, you can download an alien here, free if it's Lando, as a react. So getting Lando out from reserve deck for free as a react, certainly very helpful. I believe the Lars Moisture Farm is the only site on Tatooine that has a Scomp link. So Lobot's use is a bit limited. Yeah, I mean, he's got to get Kylo out. He's got to get 2 battlegrounds to flip and then stack it. And then you could flip them back just by putting Chewie down or whatever, and then he can't play it off the objective anyway. So I don't know that I would have grabbed it there. He only had like 1 force left after that, I believe. He moves Malos over. He drew his last card. I probably would have left that last card, A, just so you could grab something, and B, just so you had the force available for the barrier if you need it. So I wouldn't have spent the last force just to grab the Gick, most likely. Good question, though, Jared. Thanks for asking. So much better when the audience participates. All right, so he is going to match. There's the finalizer. There's Hux. It costs 8 with alert. They're each -1. Hux deploys -2 to the ship. The ship deploys -4 to an episode 7 location. And there's PV as well, whether PV was the used pile search or not. Sometimes he is. Shuttle up Mataka and move over to Tatooine. Now he is going to run into a bit of an issue here because of this text on the Tatooine system. Unless you're droid or independent starship here, you may not draw more than 1 battle destiny here. So Thrawn will not benefit him there. Imperial Commands will not add any extra destinies there. And it's very likely he'll be staring down 2 destiny from his opponent. But he does have a good Power 18 Finalizer that is immune to less than 8 because of PV, possibly less than 10 if a resistance character is there. Where he's not playing solo, he's playing EPP Han, so he won't get that. It would really only be Chewie if Chewie were in space then. So this is probably only going to be immune to less than 8. Somehow piece together dash with the Outrider, take off some power, drawing multiple destiny. This is not very secure. Alright. To drain or not to drain? I would probably drain here. It's not like you're doing a whole heck of a lot otherwise. He's going to peel 2 cards from hand, gets rid of an extra Mataka and the interrupt. He's going to pull Kessel. Oh, was I mistaken? Does the docking bay have? Oh, the docking bay does have a scomp link. Okay, I was mistaken about that. I apologize. Non-docking bay sites, I guess the Moisture Farm is the only one that has one. The docking bays, of course, would have scomp links. That makes complete sense. So Lobot to the docking bay is a little bit better. He's not stuck all the way out over here by himself. And then he can shuffle some people around. There's the wild card. This card just got a little bit tweaked a bit, right? You can add 3 pilots, 6 passengers. Its deploy forfeit ratio, I think, got changed because it was pretty bad before. I think it was like 5-6. Permanent pilot provides ability of 2 during battle. It's a capital, so you can shuttle people up and down to it as well. Total battle destiny is +1 for each smuggler aboard. It deploys and moves like a starfighter. It's immune to less than 5, so that's pretty good. It's got immunity. You can add 3 pilots. Your total battle destiny is +1 for each guy aboard. So if you're drawing 2 destiny and then adding 2 or 3 to your total, that can certainly be very powerful. So the wild card really did get quite a boost from this tweak set. And I believe there's a Cloud City interrupt that pulls it, I think. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I feel like I've seen that before. Don't know whether it's worth running. It's watch your step. You've got 2 control tunnel visions, which you can get lost pile pulls with as well, plus a couple of speaks from used pile pulls, so you can probably piece it together. And Mirax cycling cards. Some versions also run 3PO, so then you've got multiple ways to cycle stuff. Yeah, local defense, I think, is the card from Cloud City. Let's go back to the old deck builder here. See if it's coded. Local defense. Take 1 cloud car or independent starship into hand from reserve deck. Yep, that's the one. Reshuffle. Opponent initiate a battle at a sector where none of your ability comes from rebels or rebel starships out of battle destiny. So that part's never really coming into play. Not really pulling any cloud cars either. So it would be a used 4 interrupt that you would have that would just be used to get your wild card. But it does get other independent starships too. So you could get your booster and pulsar skate. You could get your outrider. That kind of stuff. So that's actually not bad too if you're running, because he is running the booster and pulsar skate. So at least he'd be able to pull either of his ships into hand with this, because like an all wings combo won't get them because they have permanent pilots. So that could be a possible upgrade to the deck. All right, so he's going to put Theranet. That's Virtual Dash. Okay, didn't notice that. Probably should have looked a little more carefully. So this guy, Virtual Dash, we've seen him before in a few other decks. Move as a react when in battle with Lebo or opponent's Gangster, EPP, or Maintenance card. Draws a destiny, subtracts that amount from opponent's total power and attrition. Moving as a react is really his only benefit in this particular matchup, because you're not going to find any gangsters. Maybe an EPP, well, probably not Kylo, but maybe the Trooper. One of the FN guys is an EPP, and probably not any maintenance guys. But hey, you never know. You can draw a destiny, subtract that from their total power and attrition. So kind of like we've seen with like the Bright Hope and some of that other stuff. Sergeant Barrack. This version of Dash does it as well. Why this version over the other version? Well, the other version only really does anything if you're playing the Outrider, and if you're not playing it, if you're basically just going with, just a 2 or 3 ship package here with like Wild Card and Booster and Pulsar Skate as your ship package, well, this one at least has some other functional text that might be beneficial, as opposed to that Dash that's not going to do much of anything. This situational text versus no text. So All right, so what do we got? We got power 8. You got 2 smugglers aboard. So he's drawn 2 Battle Destiny, possibly getting limited by command to just getting 1, but he is also adding 2 back to the total. He is flipped now, so his guys do get the forfeit bonus, so they're forfeit +2. So Dash covers 7, Theranet covers 6, so not a bad spot to be, but he did kind of rush his hand a little bit here. He's not able to draw cards to reinforce his hand. Maybe he'll shuttle Lobot up. But he seems to really have left himself exposed here. You're going to need that. Yeah, you're in a. Wow, this is a bad spot actually for Brother Just being down to just 1 force, because this is not overly secure. You're probably going to lose at least 1, if not 2 pilots. If you shuttle Lobot up, you get some extra forfeit fodder, which is kind of what you got to do because you can't leave him hanging out there. You don't really want to spend your last force to move somebody over, because then you're thin at 3 locations and you're already facing at least 1 battle. Can't play the barrier. God forbid he has first strike and you can't play any of these other cards. Well, literally just the Odin combo, possibly to help you out on the ground. And there's the possibility, we know he's got Thrawn in hand because we took him earlier. If he can match Thrawn and the Chimera up, that's going to be 12 more power. It's going to be 30 to 8. And this thing is just going to get completely wiped off the planet here. I understand we put him here because obviously if he goes to Jakku, it's still the same threat, but Thrawn has drawn 2 Battle Destiny here, where it might just clear the whole thing. Here he's limited to 1, but he already has 18 power, so you're probably better off over here if that's what you're going to do. But I'm sure he did this whole thing because Lobot's going to end up getting shuttled up. You can't leave him here, and you need the extra forfeit. That's really what it comes down to. Yeah, there goes Lobot up. Now, the ship has its comp link. Does that matter for his deploys? His react only works at same site as well, so no benefit to that. All right. There's so Ryder's going to go wide. He's going to start with Snoke. There's a laser cannon battery. Ouch. We do see that pop up from time to time. Only armor 4, so pretty easy to hit with a laser cannon battery when you can add 3 to the total. Now, Theranet is there, though, so that's beneficial. Is that the right Theranet? It is the right Theranet, so at least that may help. He can cancel a just drawn weapon destiny targeting a starship he is piloting, so Theranet's going to save the day. Excuse me. But, you know, there are, of course, gosh darn, he may have some of those other interrupts, like they shut down the main reactor, or, you know, anything like that. That could, or Relentless Pursuit that can make the ship power 0. There's some beatdown cards that require the starship to have a weapon. Maybe Map is playing them as a one-off in this particular format. Hard to say. All right, there's Phasma. She's going to get a use pile pull as well. They're both first order leaders, so that is a drain +1 site. Okay, so we do have a battle at Tatooine. Snoke's text kicks in. Just all your ability provided by first order characters or first order starships. Opponent loses a force. Usually there's sort of a mixed match with guys, whether it's like a Dr. E or a Grievous or somebody else. So that text doesn't, or Thrawn, that text doesn't always trigger. But I got the hiccups now. Excuse me. But it does get the trigger. He does get to cause 1 extra force loss. He will fire the cannon. It's It's going to cause an extra force loss, basically, is where we're at. He's going to pay 3. I don't know if Ryder read Theron net and thought this through, because now Theron's just going to cancel it. I mean, I guess you want to make him lose the force, but do you really want to spend 3 to 1? It's not really the most ideal situation there in terms of efficiency, because you're spending 3 force to kind of guarantee the draw, to make sure you hit it, to make sure then he then loses the force. It's basically paying 3 to force drain for 1 is essentially what that is, and that's not always the good case. He does still have 10 cards in hand, but he's not really going to have much force left to do anything else with. There's his third Mataka that he's just drawn, who's Destiny 7 because of Hux. Lightside just drawn a Luke. They're going to be peeling some cards here. Alright, so they get the 6, and we get a close call to subtract 3. Ironically enough, from the card that cancels the close call. He does get to add a couple back. So he's down 12 battle damage. So that's basically Lobot and Dash. Not terrible. But your opponent lost nothing. Now, on the flip side, you didn't get drained anywhere. Your opponent put some cards on the table. You kind of made him over-deploy a little bit. Lightside will still get to drain for free in the Cantina here. Could possibly Mirax a card as well. See what else you can pick up. He's going to throw out Kessel, and he's going to run to Kessel, I guess, with the wild card. I probably would have Miraxed a card here. Oof, here comes the Gravity Shadow. And there, oh, see, Relentless Pursuit. There you go. That's what I was talking about. Hang on. Let's check that out. So Relentless Pursuit says, if you have a starship armed with a starship weapon, lose a force to reduce the power of one opponent's ship to 0. It's a good space beatdown card. You just make their ship power 0. Or if you just hit a ship, make the ship lost immediately. Very powerful card, especially with space weapons. Looks like he's running at least 2 laser cannon batteries, probably 3. So fitting in something like this can really be a pain in the ass. And a good way to really lay a beat down and clear a system pretty quick. Whether he's got 2 ships together and you shoot 1 and now get rid of it, or you just make this lone ship completely power 0. Yeah. And Gravity Shadow, of course, is the one that says that they can't move away. If he had drawn a 2, the whole ship would have been lost, but he drew higher than the pilot's ability, so therefore the ship is going to have to stay right where it is. Which means it is very likely going to die. This ship are going to die. So you got a ground-heavy Watcher Step playing against a, well, I won't say space-heavy, but at least a deck that has a few more space tricks. A space-heavy version of map. You notice he didn't pull the other site yet, so he may only be playing the one first-order site here. He's going to lose an Odin combo. And he's going to top deck an EPP Han. It's a trap, cancels Sniper, which is awesome. It also cancels battles at sites. Doesn't work in space. You need alternatives to fighting for that. Alright, so we're going to battle in space. Lightside loses another card. It's going to be a Tatooine Celebration. He's going to pay 3 again. And there's they've shut down the main reactor. Okay. This would be the other one that says use 2 force. Target cannot move, and its pilots may not apply ability toward drawing battle destiny. So it's another one of those annoying dark side space weapon cards and keeps the pilots from adding their ability to drawing destiny, which in this case would mean he would get 0 battle destiny. Um, yeah, it's a really obnoxious card too, because you also can't move away. That's until end of your next turn. So you do it on their turn, and then they can't move, and then yeah, your turn. You get to deploy and beat the crap out of them. Plan B, draw for Hujix. Yes. Generally, only play one site in the bridge. It's too many battlegrounds. Otherwise, it is can be. For a while, everybody was playing the two sites in this, and with Throne Room being as popular as it is, of course, it is hard to cover 3 ground sites against a deck like that, and you find yourself more often than not getting drained at your own locations, which is never fun. Or you're doing stuff like putting, undercover spies or Image of the Dark Lord on your own sites. So it seems like he's getting by okay without it because his opponent is giving him a couple with Kessel and Docking Bay, the farm, the system. His opponent's giving him 5 force. Without it, he'd be basically sitting at 11, and that's with Snoke on the table. So he would need something else more than just what he has on the board. At least another 2-0, whether it's yeah, a bridge puller or a Sonic or something. Most likely the bridge seems to be the one that at least the interrupt would have the card efficiency for. Plus, that they're 5s, so I can certainly understand that. Give me 1 second here. So Theron Net's going to lose a force. Well, see, this is interesting. Either way, I guess you're losing the force. Because if you hit it, you lose a force, or if you cancel Weapon Destiny, you lose a force. So either way, you're losing a force here. So it's not like one's better than the other. It's like, oh, why did he Theron Net? He's going to lose the whole thing anyway. He just lost an extra card. The laser cannon battery makes you lose one as well. So you might as well cancel it. Maybe he draws a 1, maybe you draw like a 6, and then maybe Theron Net covers it. Or you maybe appeal 2 or 3 cards just to keep the ship and then, drop Wedge and run like hell. Um, so that's the play there. Either way, you're losing a card. You might as well at least keep your ship from being hit, is the thought process on that. He drew a 1. That's the first half. That's a 3. He's got a Jedi Lev in his lost pile. Okay. Maybe there's a chance here. So still alive. He's going to draw a 1 now. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Okay, he drew a 4, so got a little bit better. So that'll be a 5. So that means he's going to be down by 9. Theron covers 6. You lose Theron and 3 cards, and you get to keep the ship. That's why you do. That's why you cancel the Weapon Destiny, because at least now you've got options. Moving to attack position. This only works on starfighters, right? It's not going to let me look at it. I don't care about the Jedi Lev. I care about the moving to attack position. Target 1 starfighter. Yep. So he top decks 3 cards, gets rid of the Jedi Lev, the moving from hand, and he loses his booster and pulsar skate. So there goes his other ship. So now keeping the wild card in play was even more important. Otherwise, Darkseid was just going to spread out to a couple of systems here and just keep pinging away. And Brother Just is going to be in a bad spot. He does Mirax a card and does get Boshek, so he does get another pilot. So now Boshek wedge on the wild card and run away after draining for 2 in the Cantina. Watch Your Step is really good at managing its life force because of its ability to play cards back from the lost pile, being able to play things like Control Tunnel Vision, etc. Alright, so he drains for 2. Ryder plays Control Set for Stun to cancel the drain. Because he grabbed previously the Control Tunnel Vision, he actually has to pay Force and stack it on his own Interrupt because they are both copies of the card Control. Um, so they have the same card title, even though the rest of the card title is different. They are both copies of Control. So this, in effect, any copies of Control Set for Stun that he has will now be more expensive. Any more copies of Control Tunnel Vision that his opponent has will also now be more expensive. All right, so boat. Okay, wow. So you went Owen and Baru to the farm, which prompts a code clearance, because anytime you see that, you immediately think harvest. Boshek to the docking bay. 6 force to put Obi over there. The wild card's going to move away. Map now flips because they control 2, because First Order guys control 2 battlegrounds and a resistant agent not present at a battleground because Chewie's not on the table. So this objective now flips, but you can't do the stacking part because that requires Kylo to be on table, and he's not yet. Um, Force retrieval being canceled is interesting. Don't necessarily. I mean, he's not going to set up celebration, and Jedi Lev is a tough one to play with code clearance on the table because then that's just going to screw all your future retrieval. It's basically a one and done kind of thing. It stops him from wackling, I guess. And then you do have the use of force to draw Battle Destiny text coming into play right now. He'll pick up a card or two. He'll probably save some force. Oh, he's got a second booster in Pulsar Skate. Look at that. And he picks up Chewie. Should save at least a force for the barrier here. I was really shocked that he did this. You know, if you're going to do this, docking bay, ground, spread, um, you're really relying really heavy on this barrier working. If this barrier doesn't work, this is probably game over here. Why wouldn't you put pilot on the ship? This drain of 1, is that really such a big deal as compared to keeping your ship alive and not having to pay to drain? We're losing the game right here. I don't like this play. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't like it. Because again, if he cancels the barrier, you're screwed. You can't play it back from the lost pile because it would cost too much. So if he has any type of barrier canceler and he just drops Thrawn Chimera right here, it's 12 power, 2 battle destiny. You don't even get a destiny. You don't have a Hoojix. Right? Nope. Yeah, so it's game over. All to set up a bigger drain of 1. I wouldn't recommend that strategy, folks. There goes the It's a Trap. And he top decks a Rescue in the Clouds. He's going to play a perimeter scan to get an extra defensive shield. Really just to put a card back. He's going to grab Aim High. And there's a drain of 1. He does have Menace Fades in effect, which I like that. But he had that set up either way. Oh, an Artillery. Look at that. An obnoxious, annoying Destiny 7 card that laser cannon batteries also trigger. Causing 1 more force loss. He'll top deck a card. The force he spent to grab it. There's the Chimera. If he's got a barrier canceler, that's all she wrote. Can't play a sense. No barrier canceller. The game will continue. Yep. There's a shiny Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now, what's the hyperspeed on this thing? It's hyperspeed 5. Okay, it can make it. It can make it to Jakku. He's going to pop the Walkling to do the... There's no... The retrieval's canceled because the objective is flipped. Looks like we're going to get a revert. Or at least he's going to ask to revert and be like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, do you mind if I go back and undo that? And he agrees. He agrees! Interesting watch your step build. You kind of wonder with the tweaks and changes and can't be so heavy ground loop what version of watch your step was going to emerge. And this is certainly an interesting version. I hate that it keeps letting him try and cancel his own drain. I mean, I get that you can do it, and there are situations where you actually want to do it. Um, I can't imagine seeing any in this version. There's Han. There's Chewie. Chewie's the agent. That's going to flip the objective back. Now he's going to pull the secret plan shield. Yeah, now I'll pull the secret plan shield to make the Walkling cost 1. All right. There comes Wedge. Good old forfeit fodder Wedge. Although he can't battle this turn because he's got no cards left to draw for Destiny, really. So he'll just move and draw. Try and keep that wild card alive. There's the command. Oh, damn it, I missed it. He didn't have anybody to pull. He had a handful of characters left floating around in there, and it looked like one other ship. I don't necessarily know what ship that might have been. The shuttle, maybe? Kylo's shuttle. Could have been Mara and ship. Sometimes we'll see that. So, he drains a 2 and 1. He's going to throw that last ship away again. There goes the Hoojix combo. He's going to play a second artillery. I mean, if you can get him to grab the command, you can keep looping artilleries around all day. That would be pretty strong. And we get an Admiral's Order hitting the table. This is the one that makes it easier to shoot things. Once per battle, reduce the defense of one opponent's capital starship present by 4 for remainder of turn. Your ships with capitals with weapons also draw 1 if not able to otherwise. And then at sites related to systems you occupy, your non-pilot warriors deploy -1, forfeit +1, defense value +2. Non-pilot warriors equal stormtroopers. This deck probably has a handful of them. So that's a little double bonus here. You make it easier to shoot things like home 1, big things. Pretty much guarantee if you subtract 4 from their defense value, you don't have to spend any force. You just don't draw 0 and you hit Tantive, Bright Hope, Wild Card, all those types of ships. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, looks like my internet just decided to take a little bit of a dump. All right, so we got an EPP Mara coming down. There's the swing. He's going to play the dodge here to subtract, and I don't think I like that. Well, you know what? Never mind. I do like that because it's only targeted characters of ability greater than 2 that you can subtract 3 from. Because I was trying to think if you can save the dodge over here, but P-59 is not going to shoot at Han. He's going to shoot Chewie because he's the resistance agent. So dodge won't actually help there. So I'm thinking you got the Odin combo. Just use that to suck up her forfeit. Who cares if she's hit? I still kind of think that. Who cares if she's hit? She's dying. Mara's dying. Yeah, I probably wouldn't even play the dodge there. I think that's unnecessary. Just play the Odin combo. Unless he thinks he's going to need to save that to move people. Because P59 doesn't make forfeit 0 anyway. But he'll subtract 3 from each of these. I always find that when you play it to subtract 3, they end up drawing 2 duds, and you're like, they would have missed anyway. Well, we see 2 EPP Maras, so definitely probably wasn't her in ship. So that'll be a 1. So that will miss. So it's going to be no battle damage. This could be interesting, though. Luke's going to be power plus 6. Oof. There's the Mataka. He will spend a force. I spoke too soon. He could still take battle damage. Oh, it's going to be just enough. Everybody dies. Everybody dies at the farm, just like in the movies. Talk about board state after this turn. Who would you say is winning? It's a good question. The shuttle was in there. That's what that was. Okay. Thanks. Thank you, Mr. May qualifier, Greg Shaw. And we're going to get a battle with Snoke here. All the cards with ability, right? All your ability is provided by, so droids get around that. So there's the 1 force loss. Okay. He's going to play impressive, most impressive. Once per game, if opponent just initiated a battle, you may take the first weapon segment action. So he takes the first weapon segment action, which is probably going to be for Chewie to shoot P59 and then play the sorry about the mess to get him out of here. I really like that card in Watch Your Step. I like that card in a lot of decks, but I like it in Watch Your Step. Yep, Chewie's going to shoot P59. No questions asked. That's not a card we see very often either. Let's take a look at what this one does. 4th generation at sectors, who cares? Independent ship with an alien pilot aboard is immune to less than 4. Well, Booster and Pulsar Skate and Wildcard are both immune to less than 5, so that doesn't really come into play. But this next line does, adds 2 to immunity, since most of your guys are aliens. Now your guys are immune to less than 7, your ships. That comes into play. It's this last part that's the big one. During your control phase, one of your smugglers at a site related to a system occupied by your freighter or independent starship might either fire a blaster or make a regular move using personal land speed. So you can either control phase, make a move, kind of like a cantina shuffle, and move somebody anywhere on the board. Doesn't have to be just a cantina. Just move a guy to a better spot. They run away, or you move a guy over and deploy some guys and battle. Like if he had set up when Mataka was there, like if he had set up a guy here and then like control phase, he's like, I'll move my guy over, and then I can deploy more guys and beat him up or something. You kind of have to see it coming because the Admiral's order's on the table the turn before. But there's that. The other thing, or they can fire a blaster in the control phase. So Han's shooting first. Pew, pew. If he had that out in his control phase, he's just like, yeah, fire a blaster. So Chewie with Bowcaster can't shoot, but Han can shoot and Lando can shoot in the control phase. Kind of a built-in sorry about the mess, if you will. So this is going to hit P59, and he's going to attempt to play the sorry about the mess combo. To get him out of here, he'll top deck the Chewie from the used pile as the force loss. Nope, he top decks Talon card off the top of his reserve deck. Interesting. I guess if he had the close call, he would have played it to try and save P59 maybe. When he drew the 6, made him redraw it there. So you got to, I mean, we've seen him play the close call, so I don't like going down to just 4 Destiny because Han's going to want to shoot, and then you're going to want to draw 3 Battle Destiny here. Han is with Chewie, adds a Destiny. You've got enough for ability, which is the second one. And then 2 Smugglers from the Watch Your Step objective gives you 3 Battle Destiny. But it's very likely if he had the uh, close call, he would have played it to make him redraw the 6 to try and keep P59 alive. Oof. He would have missed either way if he hadn't lost the 3 off the top from Talon Card. Losing the 1 from Chewie from the use pile seemed to be the more advantageous. Remember, Darkseid initiated this battle. Ouch, they just drew, well, it's a 2 because of Hux, but this is probably going to be a full clear. On a battle you initiated, you're going to get yourself cleared. Alright, so looks like his brother Justice got 2 of each ship. Okay. He's got 5 and 4. He's got 9 total. 23 to 9. What's that, 14? These guys just about cover. Phasma covers 4. Snoke. I hate when that happens. He does have a second Gick. Alright, well. He's got 2 Gicks. What do you know? Snoke covered 8, so really he just lost the Gick instead of losing 1 other card, so it saved him 1 life force. But chances are he's probably thinking, I'm not going back to the ground anytime soon, so never mind. Alright. And remember, this was Darkseid's battle. Now you gotta move a ship. Oh, he's gonna shuttle people down off the finalizer to get a battleground site back. Wow, that's bold. He shuttles down just Hux by himself and shuffles his ships around. I don't like that movement per se. His opponent's got 2 cards in hand and 9 cards left face down. Um, you know, what could he possibly have that could do anything to Hux? Yeah, I get that. Um, I would have left the final. I mean, he's trying to move the finalizer to. It's not going to shoot the wild card. He's never going to get to battle the wild card again. Just save yourself the force and just move the Chimera from Kessel right here. Leave this there. Save yourself a force. Draw a card. It's more efficient, more effective. So I always wonder what the threshold for using Gick is. Yeah, you don't see 2 non-combo Gicks very often. The threshold is at, it kind of depends on what state of the game you're at, and it comes down to, do you have cards you can afford to lose? Um, where are we at here? Let's look at life force counts. 17 plus 4 is 21 to 11. You've got a 10 life force swing. Do you think you're going to go battle anywhere again that you would need to have a Gick? I don't know. You'd want to say at some point you're going to want to go. You're not going to go here. You're not going to go back here. Too many weapons and extra battle destinies. These guys here don't really pose much of an overflow threat. So, you know, you used the first Gick wisely when you were taking a bunch of overflow in the cantina from Grievous. If you're this late in the game It's going to save you a card. Ordinarily, no, you probably don't play it there. But if you're looking at, I'm ahead by 10, I'm probably not going to go ground. I'm probably just going to keep dinking around in space and doing some space drains. I can get 2 and 2. I get that's why the finalizer moved over here. I mean, Menace Phase is he's gonna move this back to Kessel. Menace Phase is gonna be back into effect, so it's gonna be drain 2 and 1, and just keep slowly whittling his opponent down. Um, but if Watcher Step does have, but at the meantime they're draining 2, 4, 6, 7 here at the cantina, I guess, at the docking bay. So 3 more turns of that if he can just keep moving the wild card back and forth. He's got to, maybe move Boshek over in front of Hux to block this drain and challenge this site. He's going to exchange 2 cards with Obi. That's the other thing you got to... He's going to get Owen and Baru back. Look at that. They deploy for free. That's why I didn't like just moving. If you're going to drop people down, bring Mataka with him, leave this here, and then remove the Chimera over. Because now he just got a guy, and now he's going to go deploy for free, battle, clear Hux. Maybe he's got a command. Maybe Hux has got a command in hand. Maybe that's what Ryder's holding on to. And Hux can add a Battle Destiny at least and not take any extra damage. But he's going to lose 7 here, we decided. So, Life Force counts, Ryder was clearly ahead there. But in terms of board position, I think Watcher Step's certainly doing more damage output. And they're probably, as long as the wild card keeps, evading, bobbing and weaving for another turn or two, and they don't have to pay to do any of these drains, I think Watcher Step is actually slightly ahead at this point. And with the Obi play now, Owen and Baru clearing Hux, whether he gets a Destiny or not, he's still going to die. And then Darkseid's going to be back to having to pay to drain. That's really going to hamstring them for the rest of the game. Or it's going to be a thing where they have to, now I've got to shuttle Thrawn down, and yeah. Alright, so he's got to pop Walkling. He'll get Wedge back, but it's a Destiny 4 character. He'll pay 1 to retrieve. He does have the command, so he is getting a Battle Destiny. So at least that's quasi-beneficial in terms that he doesn't need the Gick to protect Hux or anything like that. It's not a terrible play. I just think there's more efficient ways to do it. That's all. There goes Owen and Baru. There goes Hux. Wild card moves back to Kessel. Hope to God he doesn't have a second Gravity Shadow. Menace Phase kicks back in, so now it's a drain of 2 and a drain of 1. I wouldn't have drawn that many. Oh, well, I guess he can still spend... It's only going to cost him 3 to play the control from the Lost Pile to cancel the drain at Tatooine. Oh, he's going to play the Jedi Mind Trick instead. Just makes him pay 2 more. Was there... He just swapped the control from hand to get Owen and Baru back. Why not spend 3 force and play the control? Which, because it's played from the Lost Pile, should still go here. First stack it here if possible and use +1 for each card, or does it go here? I don't know. Either way, it should cost 3. It's not like it costs double because it only gets stacked on one grabber. I forget which grabber has priority in this case. I want to say it's the useless gesture because you have to first stack it here, and once it's stacked here, then it can't get stacked on allegations. That makes the most sense to me. But either way, it would still cost 3, and it would cancel the drain. So I'm not sure what happened there. Fun fact, Wildcard is one of only 2 capital ships in the game with hyperspeed of 5 or greater, the other being the Luminous. So there's an FN, and now he's going to shuttle down both pilots in front of Obi. Moves the finalizer back there, moves the Chimera over to block Thrawn, to block Kessel. Shuttles Thrawn down to block Boshek. Moves the Chimera. Again, I'm not happy necessarily with the way these guys got moved around, but because now your opponent, if they have any pilot, slaps it on the wild card. If he's got anybody left, he just retrieved Wedge. If he happened to work his way back around and get Wedge back in hand, I mean, maybe he's tracking where Wedge was. I wasn't paying that close attention. Slaps Wedge on the wild card, battles, clears the Chimera, and now he's back in business. And again, you're banking on it. Who knows what's going to happen here? He picked up Luke. He's got Luke in hand. He's got 7 force left. He could technically do it. He activates 6, pays 5 for Luke, deploys him on the wild card, spends 1 to battle. Boom, clears the Chimera. And he's got to draw high, right? Because it's still immune to less than 4. It's immune to less than 4. Otherwise, you're taking battle damage because Luke doesn't. He adds 2, so it's 8 to 5. Just activate 6. Can you verify and see what that card is? Drain for 2 here, drain for 2 here. A 3rd artillery. I guess Ryder's really expecting people are going to grab the command on him. He doesn't deploy Luke. He opts to just battle Thrawn. He draws Elors, which would be a 3, and he wouldn't have. He wouldn't have enough force left to. Oh! Look at that! During battle, may use 1 force to subtract 1 from opponent's just drawn destiny, or cancel an attempt to cancel and redraw a destiny. He drew a 1. He gets to use 1 to subtract it, make it a 0. Boshek lives to fight another day. That's... Sometimes you need the ball to bounce your way. That's certainly a little bit of luck going Brother Juzz's way. Spend a force, run the wild card away. Pay 1 to move Bosh. Alright, he's not doing that either. I would have thought he may have like moved Boshek over and then moved Malos out just to get spread out a little bit further and get those extra drains. He will get drained for 2 and 1, so he'll lose 3 cards here. It'll be Luke, in the Admiral's order. And there goes the other Luke. Oh, he's going to keep the Luke even though he doesn't have enough force to deploy him. Interesting. There's the last EPP Mara. So he's got 3 Maras? No, 2. It's one I drew for Destiny earlier. Move to block. Chimera moves back to Tatooine. This one's gonna be close. You're not gonna hit Mara. If you had kept the sorry about the mesh, you could have hit Mara. If you had thrown the Luke away, who you can't deploy, keep the sorry about the mess as the only card in your hand. He deploys Mara here. You activate 1, battle, shoot, add 3. Maybe you hit her. I mean, you're shooting at +3 to her defense value, +4 really. You just got to draw a 2. She's hit, forfeit 0. You draw the remaining 2 cards for Battle Destiny. Unless he's got a 3rd Gick, that would be game over right there. Instead, he keeps the Luke in hand, who he doesn't have enough force to even deploy at this point. Right? This isn't like the Luke deploys -1 farm. This is, this is the virtual farm. So, not sure what benefit holding him did. Isn't Boshek immune to less than 3? Yes. Not sure why he paid to subtract. Well, it wasn't doing anything else with the force. It was his opponent's turn, right? Who battled? Oh, that was his own battle. Okay. So, yeah, so he battled. So, again, that's probably not reading his opponent's cards and knowing, or not reading his cards and realizing what they did. He just saw 1 and went, oh, I'll just make that a 0. And, you're not causing any overflow. Yeah, so good point there, fellas. Again, not the most efficient way of doing things. So he drains for 2 here. He gets 1 at the docking bay. And he's still going to... So he overactivates, only leaves himself 1 card to draw for Destiny. Even if you don't want to do the shoot, sorry about the mess play, and you still want to draw 2 Battle Destiny, and you need to leave yourself a force to move your wild card back to Kessel, you could leave 1 less, 1 fewer. So a little activation issue there as well. Again, not the most efficient way of doing things. And these little tiny teeny mistakes could be the difference between winning and losing a game. What's Ryder got? What's that last card in Ryder's hand? Who knows? But I can tell you right now, it's another wild card. Mara's going to cover now. So Mara dies, Melas and, I don't know, Mirax die. Wild card runs away. This game should be over. This is going to be close. Well, it's already close. They're both down to 4 cards and 1 in hand. Wild card runs away because it has to. Obi's in no danger. He shuttles. All right. Chimera's not drawn by itself. Moves the wild card over, shuttles Boshek up to the pilot capacity. So now he would get a Battle Destiny there, and he blocks a drain of 2. However, this now becomes a drain of 2 because now he doesn't satisfy Menace Fades. So it's one of those 6 of one, half a dozen of the other kind of things. Basically, he blocked a drain of 1. He takes 1 less damage, but doesn't do 1 more damage to his opponent. He just draws the 2 here, so that's 11. If he can draw anything decent, it's probably going to be a 3 again, right? Oh, it's been the wild card again? Is that 2? No, I guess go because he moved afterwards. All right, so he drew a 4 here, so he could lose 2 cards and keep Obi, but I don't think that's going to happen. Although, now you got to lose Obi here. He still has force left. He could just shuttle people back up to the finalizer. Like, can Obi do enough battle damage overflow? And the answer is no, he couldn't. So, but these are things you got to stop and think about for a second. Like, let me take a second. Let me count. Let me see where we're at. And no, so all right. So the finalizer moves over, but he's still going to take drains of 2 and 2. And the answer, of course, is move the wild card to Jakku and then shuttle Boshek down. Now your opponent's down to just 1 card left. You're like, how do I win? You move the wild card to Jakku, and you shuttle Boshek down. You get drained for 2 at Tatooine. The end. And Brother Just squeaks out a very small win by 1. And his PV's going to go down swinging. It's the barrier again. Yep. Congratulations to Brother Just on squeaking out a win here. There were some couple plays from each player along the way that were not the most optimal. Obviously, some little tweaks here and there could be things that could make this game be a heck of a lot different. We highlighted a few of them in terms of just what, again, not knowing the deck specifically, it's hard to judge what the right card in each situation is to do. But at least this last turn here, keeping the sorry about the messes instead of keeping the Luke that you couldn't deploy, that's a good takeaway. Kids, don't keep characters in your hand that you don't have enough force left to deploy. When you get force drained, just start chucking those guys. So, well, that's going to do it for our game review of the week. Thank you to Brother Just for submitting the replay. It was fun to see some different versions of decks. This is more of a space-heavy map against more of a kind of a ground trick-heavy watcher step. We don't get to see either of those versions very often, so thank you for sending that over. Great game by both players. Very interesting. And we don't need the deck builder up. Haven't been in the lobby in a minute. Looks like we've got some OCS games. Heisenberg just joined the OCS this month for the first time ever, so we've got new people playing in the OCS. Oh, look, I got packs. Spidey Guy, Throne Room, Shaw playing ISB. So Shaw, after going 11-1 last month, gonna dust off the ISB deck and get right back out there for June. Best of luck to all those guys and all these other people waiting to pick up some games in the lobby. That's going to do it for tonight's show. Be sure and tune in Wednesday night at 9 o'clock for the Hollow Theater show. Jerry will not be there this week. Special guest host, design advocate Chris Kelly will be stepping in. He's always on the show anyway. They figured they might as well let him host while Jerry's not there. It's kind of like we used to people, how people used to substitute for Leno or other talk shows. The people who are on the show all the time as guests just get to come back and host it. Um, their guest this week will be I'm told it's a Hall of Famer. So tune in Wednesday night to find out more about that and check it out. I'll be back Monday night, same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you guys very much for watching. Get your OCS games in, and may the force be with you.